Hello, welcome back to my channel. I've been getting a lot of requests to talk about work recently, totally understandably. I think if I was in the position I was in 4 or 5 years ago, that would be the main topic that I'd want to see on YouTube. People that have had or still suffer with agoraphobia, anxiety, phobias, things that make it really, really hard to work. That's the thing I would really want to see, and so that's what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to do 2 videos. Today I'm going to be talking about my experience, how I got out there, how I got into the world of work when I was very mentally unwell, how that looked and what I'm doing now. I just think that would be something that would hopefully help people and inspire people and make people feel a bit better. I'm also going to be doing a video next week on how my tips, things that helped me. So I'm going to start at the very, very beginning, and I'm just going to get straight into it. So, a little bit of backstory. Obviously, if you've been subscribed to my channel for a while, you know the story of my anxiety, mostly. So I was very, very severely anxious. I found it hard to go into my back garden. I had panic disorder, and so I would have panic attacks all the time. Literally going to my back garden was really, really, really difficult because I'd feel too far from home. So that felt like the biggest task. To go out and get a job was not even on my radar. So that was that time of my life. That's the kind of things I was dealing with. I was dealing with pretty severe OCD, which takes over your whole brain and life, and it's really, really hard. Agoraphobia, anywhere outside of my house felt completely terrifying. I felt constantly sick because I was constantly putting myself in discomfort. And when I didn't put myself in discomfort, I still felt sick, I still felt anxious. It was just really, really horrible. And so being in that moment in time, you just feel like, well, it's literally going to be a marathon to be able to work. So that was that time of my life. I went to college for a while. I had to drop out because I just wasn't well enough, and that's when my agoraphobia got really, really, really bad. And so for that time, I was kind of just like, well, I'm just never going to be able to get a job. I just might as well get used to that fact. And this was when, bearing in mind, I was probably 18, 19 at that time. So, I mean, it really shouldn't have been something that I was like thinking about, but of course it was. One day I was at my local pub, and even that situation was very, very, very hard. And that was probably a 5-minute walk from my house at the time. And that was really, really difficult. But I remember going down one day, and a girl that worked there who I didn't know at the time said that I could probably work in the pub, and it could be really, really chilled out. And I could just maybe go for 1 day a week, and if after a few hours I was really not okay and really panicking, that would be fine. Like, it's kind of like a trial kind of thing. So I started working there. Obviously I can't really remember my first day, but I'm guessing I would have been very, very nervous. But I knew a few people that worked there already. I had friends there, and this girl was really, really lovely, and the management knew about my anxiety. So that for me made it a lot easier. For you guys, I don't know if you'd want to explain to your management that you have panic attacks and anxiety. It might make you feel more anxious. That is totally down to you. But for me, it made me feel a lot better, because it's kind of like a defense thing of like straight away being like, if you don't like me, then this is the way I am, so just like me or leave me kind of thing. And so I worked there, and I still am working there. So I've worked there for 4 years now. I've cut down to 1 day now because I have lots of other things going on in my life, but that was definitely the start of something. It was obviously working in a pub, you're talking to the public all the time, you're meeting people all the time, sometimes it's really busy and you have to stay behind the bar and serve people, which can feel quite trapping. There's also like lots of like things that just need to be done, like clearing tables, and I also work in the kitchen, so like making loads of food, all that kind of stuff. So it's definitely something that was difficult, but it was manageable to me because it was my biggest anxiety was being far from home rather than what the actual job entailed. So for me, I actually really enjoyed it, and there was lots of quiet periods where you get to know people more, you get to know customers more. And bearing in mind, my anxiety wasn't really that social. I didn't find talking to people, new people, I didn't find talking to people that difficult. So that was definitely a pro for me. So it didn't make the job as difficult, because obviously that's the biggest thing working in bars. Like, the thing about working in bars is you talk to people all the time. Before all of this, I had started my YouTube channel. I'm pretty sure I started my YouTube channel before I worked, and that was just kind of something I did for myself because I wanted something to do when I was really anxious, and I thought maybe I'd meet other people that had anxiety, and that has happened. And then my channel changed into more of a, like, I guess my channel is partly for me about, it helps me understand things more, and it helps me when I meet people like you guys, and whenever I get a message on Instagram, whatever, that says lovely things, it always helps me. It always really helps me knowing that there's one more person out there that gets me, and also knowing that I have helped somebody else to feel less alone. Honestly, it really, really does make a massive difference in my life. And yeah, anyway, that's sidetracking the story. I kept on working on my YouTube channel even when I was at work and stuff like that. I'd work 2 days a week, but for me that took a lot of energy because I had anxiety. So the day before, and maybe even a couple of days before, like the Thursday and Friday, I wouldn't do anything because I'd need to relax before the weekend, and then the Monday usually would be like me relaxing after. So it was kind of like only a few days during the week where I actually felt like I had days off. So for a long time that was just kind of my life, just like doing YouTube and going to work at the pub. So that was just the way things were working, and I still was suffering very badly, but work just became a part of my life. It just became, oh yeah, I work at weekends at a bar. It just became a part of it. It didn't necessarily make my anxiety better or anything like that, but it definitely wasn't a struggle to go to work. So that just kind of became a part of the struggle, I guess. It didn't add to it, but didn't take away from it, I guess. And yeah, I kept working on my YouTube channel, and I guess when things changed for me was when my friend, the same friend that got me the job at the pub, she left the pub and she started working in like a wellness business, and that wellness business needed a social media person. And because I had taught myself when I was really, really unwell how to film and edit videos and how to run an Instagram, and taught myself loads about social media, they wanted to hire me. So I went along to this interview, and at the time I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to do this, this is terrifying. But I went along anyway, and it was absolutely fine, like these things usually are, 100%. The thought of things are always, I'd say 99% of the time, worse than the actual thing, 100%. And that was the same case with this. And I've been working there for about 7 months now, 1 day a week, doing social media. And through that, I've actually got 2 more clients who I run like wellness social media for them. This led me to needing a co-working space because working from home is really hard, especially when you have anxiety, I think, because if you, it's just a really, really tough thing. And I think I'll do a video on working from home or being self-employed with anxiety because it's really hard. And so I decided to get a co-working space, which is really close to me. I meet loads of new people all the time, and I just wanted to say the biggest thing for me was when I was really unwell and I was on the sofa and I was like, there's no way I'm ever going to get a job, I would look at this co-working space and be like, if only I could work there, if only I could edit videos from there, or if only I could have a job which meant that I could work on my laptop from there. That just sounds like so lovely. And it wasn't until I was doing my free trial there the other day that I looked up from my desk and was like, I'm doing the thing I wanted to do. But to get there, you have to go through the horrible anxiety, and you have to let things happen when they happen naturally. Again, I'm going to talk all about the tips that I have for people getting a job, and a lot of the things that I've gone through getting a job has been natural, but it's also been people I've known, and it's been luck. So I know that this is a different situation than most people are in, and a more privileged position than most people are in, because most people probably don't have friends who are just like, oh, just come and work with me. But right now I'm at a phase where I'm running my own business, and it's really hard to say that. It's really hard for me to say that because I think I'm getting, this is all very new to me. I've only recently become self-employed, only recently become a freelancer, and so I've always wanted to say I'm self-employed. And now that I'm saying it, I think there's a lot of imposter syndrome coming in of like, yeah, but it's all going to change soon. Or yeah, but like, are you really self-employed, or are people just doing you a favour? And all these thoughts come in all the time whenever I say I'm self-employed. But I am self-employed, and that's amazing. And it kind of feels like in some ways my soul or my subconscious worked at this. And it was like, even when I wasn't consciously thinking about trying to get a business together or trying to get a job or whatever, my subconscious is working away and being like, okay, if you just stick with this anxiety thing now, and if you just keep trying at this thing, it's going to pay off and it's going to be rewards. I also wanted to say I still suffer with anxiety, 100%. I still have panic attacks. Although, touch wood, I've not had a panic attack in a really long time. I still have thoughts of anxiety every day, and it's definitely not something that I have down yet. It's something that I'm really working hard on, and it's something that is getting better, and it's something that me and my anxiety are working together on this. And I feel like more of a team with my anxiety, but me having jobs, me being self-employed, having my own business, all these lovely things and things that sound lovely, it doesn't mean that everything's fine and everything's fixed. And I think a lot of people think that when you get a job, a full-time job, a part-time job, when you manage to get out of the house, when you do these things, then things are going to be magically better and magically disappear. I think there's partly a truth to that. It gives you more self-confidence, it makes you feel good, it's great feeling part of a team, it's great being out. Being out of the house is so important. But it's not like everything's fine and everything just magically disappears and you never have a panic attack again. You still have to work really hard on your mental health, but nevertheless, getting a job and being self-employed for me has been amazing, and I'm so grateful to myself for this. I'm really grateful to myself for sticking through those shit times and now being in a place where I've always wanted to be. But I just wanted to make that clear of, I think when we can't do things with our anxiety, when our anxiety makes it too hard to go and do things, we romanticize this idea of what it's going to be like when we get there. And it's not always that. And actually, right now, wherever you are, and again, I'm going to talk about this in another video, but wherever you are right now is absolutely okay. Just because you're not able to work right now, it means nothing for what it's going to be like in a year from now or 2 years from now. It really has no significance. So the biggest thing you can do is to slow down and let yourself be wherever you are. Even if that place is, I cannot leave the house at all. That is okay. That is not going to be the way it is forever, but it is the way it is now. So accepting that and being like, okay, letting your anxiety off the hook for a bit. Letting yourself just be for a while, rather than being like, I need to get a job right now. Let yourself be. Let yourself feel the way you feel. Anyway, I'm going to talk more about that in another video, but I just want to quickly share with you my story and my journey to working and being self-employed and all the different things that I've done, and also I've put a lot of trust in myself and I've just kind of let things happen when they've happened, and I think that's been the way that it's worked for me. So yeah, I hope this video made you feel like if you are in that awful time, things aren't always going to be that way and things can get better. So yeah, look out for the next video, which is going to be on tips for getting out of the house and being able to work, and tips on getting a job with anxiety. And I'll see you in that video. Bye!